This young man was a bean counter, and not like an accountant, he just really liked counting beans. And his name was Ted.
In kindergarten, we learn two things: letters and numbers. Numbers are powerful. They can be used for good or for evil. I vowed only to use them for good, but many choose to manipulate and deceive with them. Sometimes numbers just obscure the truth by happenstance, as in this example of 6 movies from 2017 with an average rating of 5.2 by IMDb users. You would assume that they are mediocre movies, but your lesson today is that averages lie. One of these is not like the other. An inconvenient sequel, Truth to Power, many thought was the worst movie they had ever seen, and they gave it a 1. And just as many thought it was the best movie they had ever seen, and they gave it a 10. It was not a mediocre movie, but a controversial one. Sometimes we use numbers in weird places. Have you ever noticed when a baby's born, you say, how much does she weigh? Why do we ask that? And the response is always so specific. It's never, it was about 9 pounds, it's 8 pounds and 14 ounces. Sometimes the numbers we use point to something else entirely. It can be difficult to reconcile our experience with reality because what just happened is a human just came out of another human, and that's so mind-boggling. We end up saying, I don't understand this, but she weighs 8 pounds and 14 ounces. The response is always, that is amazing. Not the numbers, but the words. Not the numbers, words. You're with me. After the Parkland shooting, many headlines led with some variation of the phrase, no words. Because sometimes words fail us, and in those times, we turn to numbers. 17. When I say the number, you know what that means. Sometimes the number is the story. In literature, there's 7 basic plots. You might recognize a few. There's the quest, the underdog, the tragedy. Why don't we teach these in math class? Whether it's the one ring to rule them all, or when the 16 seed beats the 1, or when the calendar rolls to 9/11, do you see the stories? The quest, the underdog, the tragedy. Numbers are telling stories all around us. To only use numbers for analysis would be like to only use words to write instruction manuals. How many stories go untold because they're buried in spreadsheets and databases? My wife and I are expecting our first in May. We're thrilled. Gender is a surprise. People ask you when a boy or girl. I don't have a preference. All I care about is that he or she weighs 7 pounds and 11 ounces. It's a nice, interesting number. It's also the average weight of all babies born in the U.S. I just picture my child coming to me and saying, Dad, tell me about the day I was born, and I'll rattle off some numbers. Well, it was 2:03 in the afternoon, and your mom labored for 2 hours, and you weighed 7 pounds and 11 ounces, and that was the average weight of all the babies born in the U.S. And she's like, okay, bye, Dad. I was like, no, this is important. You were statistically average. But averages lie. You were remarkable.